A lot of you know that a strong, powerful hurricane hit southern Florida just a few weeks back. So many people lost their homes and their possessions and things that were important to them. Some even lost their lives, and we need to pray for those families that were affected by that hurricane. Where I live here on the southeast side of Tampa, we were fortunate. We did get some wind damage, as you can see here with these two trees, the stumps of these trees which were uprooted, but overall we were okay. I want to talk to you about roots and how important they are for a tree to withstand hurricanes and strong storms. And I want to talk about our spiritual roots in your morning cup of inspiration. You can see this tree, it had a lot of roots, some of them pretty long, but they weren't strong enough to withstand that hurricane. And I ask you, what are your spiritual roots like? Are you feeding the roots that tie you to the Father, where we get our nutrients and our vitamins, just as the roots do that for a tree? They go out in the soil and they seek out water, they seek out the nutrients in the soil. Well, we need to make sure that we're getting what we need to stay strong in the storms. And Psalm 1 talks about it. In verse 1 it says, "Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he meditates day and night." That's where we get our strength, meditating on God's word. "He is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever he does prospers." You know, there are storms in life, and right now in our country there are a lot of them, and they're pretty strong storms. That wind is blowing. We need to stand firm. How do we do that? By spending a lot of time every day in prayer and in God's word, so that we know that our roots are running deep and we can withstand those winds that are blowing. Years ago on QVC, we sold a product called Spray and Grow. It was a fertilizer for plants and trees. And my guest said, I was planting some new trees on my property, and he said, "Boy, put some of that Spray and Grow, just pour it right onto the roots as you plant that tree." And he said, "You'll be amazed." Well, I had about 8 trees, and I had an arborist out one time, and he looked at my Zelkova trees in the back, and he said, "I've never seen such beautiful, large, strong Zelkova trees. What's your secret?" And I told him about this Spray and Grow, and I thought that was quite interesting. And we need to have that kind of source of strength in our lives so that we can stand the storm. Unlike these trees, they had roots, but they weren't long enough and they weren't strong enough, and the trees blew over in that storm. I hope that inspires you to stand strong, and I'll see you soon for another morning cup of inspiration. God bless.